How is this August? Hello, hi, welcome back to another weekly vlog. It's just starting on Tuesday because why not? But I thought it'd be a pretty interesting one to document because it is the week before we leave for Pony Club Champs, so it's manic. There is a lot to be done and a lot of exciting training as well that I just think is worth documenting. I've never had two boys at a big championship event at the same time. And I feel like, despite the fact that they're doing the exact same thing, their prep is so varied and so different, and that's got to be something interesting to share, so that's kind of my plan. But I've done some hill work with Atty this morning. I'm about to pop inside for a sports psychology appointment, which is something totally new for me, and then Star has a lesson later, so that is the plan for today. We've just turned up for our lesson. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to get the mum cameo because she's heading off on holiday for half the vlog, so you won't see her. Oh, I know, you're all gutted. Anything you'd like to say? This is all about the week before prep for the champs. I would like to say weather please be nice. We need some nice, dry, warm weather so that the ground off church is great for all of those people who are taking part in the champs. You heard that here. If you control the weather, you've been warned. He's happy seeing jumps. Jumpies! Flo's literally just said she's never had a lesson with Kylie in the rain. Let's see what happens. Mine thinks it. Okay, so now you've seen us have a little bit of a warm-up, I thought I would do a voiceover of the session, what I learned, what we were going through, because I know that is how these videos become the most useful versions of themselves. And I think the key information going into this lesson, if you want to be in the mind of flow, is I was feeling a bit apprehensive. I hadn't jumped anything in 2.5 weeks because I'd had that amazing Aston Tweezledown event weekend, and then I felt the boys deserved a bit of a quieter time. Then I was away for a few days, and for one reason or another I just hadn't jumped. And I've struggled ever since my gap year, ever since I had 4 horses and working was jumping something kind of every other day or every 3 days. Any period of more than 2 weeks where I don't jump, I have it in my head that, oh, I'm so rusty, which is just not a healthy way to think about it. And I don't think it's a real way to think about it either. But I had going into this lesson that I was going to be a bit rusty. And then everything you've seen so far, the warm-up, the first few exercises we did, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I thought I was riding quite well, but I think it's coming down this line here. I have a little bit of a wobble. It's nothing major, but I just don't see a stride, and I ride a bit backwards, and then I do it again, and I do it a couple of times in very quick succession, and it's surprising how quickly my resolve faded, because I had kind of gone into the session thinking, oh, it's not going to go that well, and then as soon as a couple of things didn't go well, I guess it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? I'm like, oh, well, I called it. So it was really, really good to have Kylie there with me to just talk me through it as I get myself a bit more, not like wound up. I don't really think I was upset, but I was just stressed about not seeing a stride, and then riding even more backpedally, and you can see it just kind of got worse and worse. I've left in some of her advice to me because I think after I came down and jumped this next fence, she was like, right, stop, let's just talk for a second. And I think it's really useful to listen to what she has to say, so I've left it in case you want to hear.
When you ride up to a fence, it has to be a canter that they've been balanced on. If they're already open a bit and then you try to accelerate from that, they'll be on their shoulders. Yeah. Then that's when the chip kind of happens. Yeah. So just take your time before every approach turn to make sure you've had an organised half hold that shrinks the canter a bit on so that the quarters are loaded, and then you move the canter up if you need to the toe point. Just watch you don't get into that trap of the canter's big and open and you've seen a big one and you accelerate to it, and then that becomes why you will get a bit unnerved by riding up to take off point because you want to chip. Outside leg. Good girl.
That breather and bit of advice was exactly what I needed, and then what Kylie actually told me to do as well was to stand up out of my stirrups, as you can see I'm about to start doing here, because she felt I was driving a bit with my seat, which is a bad habit that I think I've picked up this season. I don't think it's something I've always done, but I agree I've started doing it, and it's like a bit of a defense mechanism. When I want to see a nice open shot, I just start driving. So with me stood up in my stirrups, I couldn't interfere with Star. I just let him find the rhythm, let him kind of, not be bothered by me basically. And that was really helpful. And it was nice to pop a few fences like that to end the session. I know it perhaps wasn't the most pretty in the terms of like our heads gone up a little bit, or a bit more cross-country style, but to end the session with a couple of really positive jumps and a reminder that actually we are more than capable of doing this.
I wish I could say I was buzzing after that session, but I'd be lying. It's been 2.5 weeks since I last jumped. Tweezle Down event vlog was the last time that I left the ground on either of the boys, and you wouldn't think that would be long enough for the cracks to start to show, but it was apparently. Oh well. It was nice that if I was going to have that kind of like not so good session, it was in the presence of a qualified professional who could help, and I learned a lot of useful stuff on the flat, and hopefully that was me working through it. My positive sort of spin on it all is that at least this is the start of the prep week. I've got a couple more jumping sessions lined up. I have another lesson with Kylie, but this time on the main man at the very end of this vlog, so yeah, hopefully there's time, but not feeling on top of the world. Ciao, hello. It is Wednesday and my last completely free day ahead of CHAMPS, which is scary, so I'm trying to use it productively. Got up early this morning and rode both Atty and Star. Atty hacked, started some flat work. We're kind of still working on some of those harder movements that are going to be present in the CHAMPS test. It is astronomically by far going to be the hardest test that Star has ever done, so I'm kind of not getting too obsessed and bogged down with it. If we get through it happily, I'm gonna just consider that a win, and then I think it's going to be a winter job to go away and really drill in some of those dressage movements. But that does not explain why I'm in my car. I'm going off to do something today that I've never ever done on this channel before. We're going shopping. I know, who is she? Chairman's Cup at CHAMPS, the 3-day event, has a trotter. Obviously you dress up a little bit. I've always gone for pretty much the same look, white, navy. But a certain film has come out recently that has inspired me. You may have heard of it, a little film called Barbie. And I suddenly am like desperate to incorporate some pink and some like Barbie themed inspiration into my trot up outfit. So that is what I'm gonna go and do, see if I can go and find anything that kind of fits the bill. And then I also need to go to a tack shop and get a bunch of stuff for Stay Away show season. So let's do it, let's go shopping. Well, that couldn't have gone more unsuccessfully if I tried. I got nothing, except for my coffee, which we do all know by now does make me very happy, but apparently pink is so last week. There was just no pink in any of the shops, so might have to be an online shop order, but Oh well. Gonna pop to the tack store now, a bit more my comfort zone, and get some of the horsey things that I need for next week. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to have like too much choice, but in the end, nothing. Well, that shot was a lot more successful. I got almost everything I needed, from overreach boots to feed to recovery mash to hoof oil, all of these show essentials. I shouldn't have needed to buy another sack of feed. I think every time I've done a weekly vlog this year, I've had to make an impromptu trip to the tack shop for feed for the boys, because even though I calculate how much they eat and how many bags of feed they should need for a certain time period, I never get it right. You'd think I'd learn. Project Barbie has now moved online. The sun has come out. We've got a busy Thursday ahead of us, starting with a jump session for Atty. Star's off today. It'll be his last day off ahead of champs, and then he'll have, you know, almost work building up a little bit. I don't like him to go too quiet the week before, because I want him to go into the competition full of sort of calming vibes, whereas Atty is the opposite. He's gonna have a busy few days now. I'm giving him a pop because he hasn't jumped in like 2.5 weeks, and he has a lesson on Monday, which will be his final jump. And then he'll really calm down and he'll do some days of hacking and just quiet, sort of roll into the champ so that he can turn up and have the energy and presence, and hopefully bring that to his dressage test, because that is when it will be best. So I'm just gonna do a couple of little gymnastic fences today to get him thinking ahead of his lesson on Monday. I will try and show you a little bit, but I don't have anyone around to film. Back in the car, because despite this being a weekly vlog, you're still going to get some eventing action. I am headed up to Aston-le-Walls because Rochelle, who I'm sure a lot of you know by now, but she runs the yard that I keep the boys at when I'm at university, is doing the novice. And like, Aston is about halfway between the university yard and my home yard, and when I did the novice there on Atty a couple of weeks ago, she came and was more of support and was really, really useful, because I wouldn't have jumped as big in the warm-up as I had if she'd been there kind of like making me do it. So I'm gonna go and return the favour, take some videos, and I thought I'd bring you along so you can see, you know, get your little cross-country fix through this vlog, and hopefully it'll be a good day. She doesn't love being on the vlog, so I'm gonna try and cajole her into it. I've actually brought my stopwatch for her to borrow, so maybe I'm gonna be a really good friend and bargain with her and say if I lend it to her, she can fill you in on the vlog. So if she does, leave some lovely comments below and tell her how amazing she is, that she'll come on the vlogs more often. I'm like 3 minutes away from the venue, but obviously 2 HGVs have met each other on this country lane and we're having a bit of a standoff, so I might be here a while. I have no idea. My watch, you can use it.
Thank
if
you.
you promise you'll do a debrief of your like 3 phases up for my vlog at the end.
Okay.
Oh, she's still going with it.
Like, skip me, not perfect. I did this, I came straight over and asked them, excuse me, that's my car.
We are back in the box because there is an 80-minute cross-country delay, which wouldn't be great at the best of times, but Rochelle's cross-country time was already 6:10, so now she is due at 7:30, and then I've got an hour and a bit home.
picked up those 2 refusals on the course, one at 15 and 16A. Dry.
Well done! You're going to be so happy I got a video of you that second water.
Did you?
Back in my car, ready to head home, and it is 8:30. As much as I have loved spending the day with Rochelle eventing, I was not expecting it to be that long before we left, so probably won't be home until close to 10, but lovely to see them in action, having a nice confidence boosting run. That's what it's all about, isn't it? From a viewer's perspective, I feel like today is probably the least interesting day of the vlog, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I wanted to keep you updated because it's something that I'm very ready for. So ridden the boys this morning, and this afternoon I have loads of back-to-back meetings lined up, which I know what you're thinking, why would that be exciting? Except for me it's a novelty because they're all like social media based, and to have like any, let alone loads all piled up in one afternoon, represents the fact that there could potentially be exciting things on the horizon. I've even put on my shirt and my makeup because I feel like I get the worst imposter syndrome whenever we start talking about opportunities, and it just makes me feel more like badass. I'm gonna be business flow this afternoon. Okay, I've just finished the call that I definitely can tell you about, and that was a nice little casual catch up with Ella and Molly Cook, who you may know, they vlog here on YouTube. And we were talking because next Tuesday at 2 PM, pretty sure it's the same day this vlog comes out, so the likelihood is if you're seeing this, it's already happened. I am hosting a Q&A at the Paint Club Championships in their brand new fan zone. Who let me do that? Who let me loose? What? That's so surreal. I'm really excited, really nervous, kind of convinced myself no one's going to show up, so we'll just have to see what happens. But yeah, how exciting. We're talking all things social media, how to grow your following online, how to do it safely, and now roll on the rest of the meetings for the day. Good morning. Good morning. It's just a bit too early for comfort, 6:15, but I'm up bright and early because I'm getting the first slot at our local cross-country schooling venue. It is both boys' final gallops day today. Atty will just be doing a traditional interval training session here at home, but with Star, about working him, getting him doing a little bit more in the run up to champs. We're going to go pop him over a couple of cross-country fences, a good opportunity to see how he copes with some of the more technical water combinations, ditch complexes, and I probably won't ease him into it. I'll probably stick him right in at the deep end basically, but going early because I've got a university friend coming to visit me this weekend, which is really, really exciting. But yeah, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be a long day.
I just wanna hold you. I just wanna look into your eyes and tell you that I want you. You know you make me feel so alive. Can't stop thinking about you day and night. Love it when you kiss me, love it when we touch. Every time I'm down, yeah, you make me smile. You're the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. You are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are, you are. You are the solution. You are the solution. Everything I needed.
Are you happy to be back? On the vlog? You were gone for 3 days.
Oh, did you miss me?
I didn't. Maybe they did.
It's nice to be back. Although I did enjoy it down in Cornwall, like you said.
Oh, and he stood nice and still, Flo. There they go, just warming up. If you know how excited Star gets around the start boxes, this is a godsend to have a bit of practice.
Think watching him now that he gets excited at the start box because he just can't be alive.
You just interrupted my commentary flow.
Sorry.
A spot of luck. Get you a mother who facilitates your Starbucks addiction, because hers is just as bad, and we stopped in the town centre to get a coffee, which
Managed to park on the side of the road.
I think it was well earned though. We were up and out early, so I think we deserved it. Just got back, and I don't know if I actually said on the vlog earlier, but it's 1 week today that I go cross country with both boys at the Chairman's Cup, hence why they're having their final gallop session today. And buddy, you're up next. You can't just stand around in your stable all day. But I was really pleased with Star. I felt that I came out still a little bit backwards, but actually by the end of the session it was pretty much where I wanted it, which is good, and I've still got a jump lesson on Atty to go, so hopefully from my point of view I won't be rusty much longer. Oh, he's looking at the coffee. You like that? I also did just have a little bit of a almost like eureka moment where I was like, there's so much to do before we're ready to leave on Wednesday morning. I'm thinking about everything I've got to do and the time I've got to do it, and I can't visualise it. So a little marginal stress, but hopefully we'll be all right. Happy Sunday. I realised I didn't get any footage of Atty having his final gallop yesterday, but he also did that. And now he's about to have his final dressage test run through. That's the plan for this morning. Horses know when to pick their moments, don't they? Somebody's pulled a shoe off. You really knew it was flat work day, didn't you? Yes. What I do. Are you sorry? So no flat working Atty today. I haven't quite figured out when he's going to get to run through his test. I'm trying not to like totally stress about it. And poor Star, who had earned a well-deserved day off after yesterday, has been subbed back in to practice his dressage test, and then he can have tomorrow off. Sorry about that one, mate. You've only got Atty to blame. vlog and it's officially Champs week, which is a little scary. Oh my gosh, this is where my despair spiral starts. They've put the shoe back on, but they've put it back on without a stud hole in. The mood in the cab, dare I say, is not good. Just had an engine warning light come on in the horse box. Perfect timing before we're about to go travelling, and pulled over on the side of the road, but luckily it seems to be going alright, so we didn't even think we were going to make it. Obviously told Mum about Attie's shoe and she was thrilled. Oops. And I'm a bit stressed about what to do, which also didn't go down well. Anything you'd like to add? You're living the dream, Flo. Sure feels like it. I don't think I even said that we've just arrived for Attie's show jumping lesson, that's why we're here.
And by the way, it was you that said, please could we get donuts for later?
I don't remember saying that. Yeah, for later.
Let go! Good! Good! Why are these hands so wide? Why? Narrow. Go! Good!
I shall spare you too much commentary on my show jumping lesson with Attie because we came in, jumped a couple of fences and went straight into jumping a kind of course exercise, and the reality was he was pretty much exactly where we wanted him. He was on really good form, I felt I was riding better, he was thinking better, and it's about deciding when is the time to push and ask even more difficult questions, and the reality is 3 days before quite an important show jumping round probably isn't the time. So we didn't actually do loads, just had a play through a couple of exercises. He was feeling really good, and I will leave that all in for you to see.
Very good. You see what happens when you then teach them to think? Good. Nose to red. Yes. Sorry.
Superstar Attie, you can always count on the main man to put a smile on my face. He was so good, and now we have an evening of Champs prep ahead of me. Everything from preparing for my talk tomorrow, which is kind of crazy, to I've just been outside sourcing the lorry. I'll bring you around. Mum is very kindly having a little look at the boys' manes, getting them pulled and under control. So here's her getting her moment of glory. Thank you, Mum, what a hero. So that is everything that's going on in this vlog. You've seen the week before Champs. The next vlog will be part 1 of the Champs vlog, which is a little bit scary. Fingers crossed for a good week. I hope you enjoyed an insight into how I prep both boys for a big stay away competition, and I'll see you in the next big one.